Am I live? I think I'm live. Am I live? I think I'm live. I think we're live. I think we're live, people. I think we are live. And it looks like people are already starting to come in down the show, and it's going to be an interesting show. It's going to be a first. It's going to be a first for the comic book influencer, for comic journey influences. It's going to be the first where it's going to be our first woman that's going to be on the show today. So this is going to be really, really, at least the first woman that I know of. And, I don't ask people's genders, because maybe somebody looks like a man and they're really a woman, and whatever the case is. But this is the first one that I have identified that is actually a woman. So it's our first. It is our first, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. And I'm going to say, hold on. Let's play the intro. Let's play the intro. So, hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, gentlewomen, and good evening, gender neutrals. Everybody, we're inclusive on everybody on this show. So, I'm going to say a really quick hello to everybody right before we have our guest on. Right before we have our guest on, and Comic Man, he's been sitting here for 5 days since I posted this. He's been waiting for it, giving me black hearts. So he's in there. Tricky, thank you for joining us. Comics by the Bay. As always, a pleasure to having you on the chat. Who knows what you're gonna say? Hey, look at me, Brian. Look at me. Look at you. Okay, and then we got K-pop. My Katie. Thanks for always being here for me. Lisa from the Bronx, just a borough away from me. And we got who else? We got DJ Links. We got DJ Links. DJ Links. Scratching on the one and twos. DJ Links. Okay, then we got Bleecker Street Comics, the fastest growing channel on YouTube today. And who else we got? Who else we got? I don't want to miss anybody here in the beginning. Tylux the Mighty. We got the Mighty Mullet here, giving judo chops to everybody out there. Who else do we got? It's not my birthday. My birthday was on Sunday. We're done with the birthdays thing. No more birthday talk, okay? Don't get me aggravated. This is supposed to be a PG type of thing. We're on prime time now. I'm trying to refrain from using language here, okay? Oh, Adam, thank you. I don't know who Adam is, but thank you for joining us. Hopefully you stay for the whole show. Who else we got here? We got. I think we got a Beefit, my man from New Zealand. All right, we got everybody. So here's the story. I'm gonna be observing. Your comments and your questions. I'm gonna try to incorporate them into the conversation as much as possible. But don't get offended if I don't answer it. I have an official Q&A session that's gonna be set up at the end of the show, just like always. But and you know what? Without any further ado, let's get our guest on. Kool-Aid, you ready? You ready for our guest? Oh yeah! All right, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
what the hell? Another person's trolling me. I'm the Kool-Aid guy.
I was so influenced by your Kool-Aid Man. It like just drew me in from my favorite influencer that I had to have my own.
Well, I'm glad I influenced you then. Oh, there
Thank
you
you
go.
for being my favorite influencer.
Oh my God, you're starting to see. You're making it very difficult for me to ask you difficult questions. I like because now you're buttering me up. You're making it a little bit difficult for me.
My Kool-Aid man is waving hi to your Kool-Aid man.
Well, hello. Oh yeah. Okay. Is yours a female or male Kool Aid? I can't tell
Oh,
the difference.
mine's gender neutral.
So's mine. So is mine. It's 2023. We have to, neutral. Everything is
Yeah.
neutral. All right. So, welcome, welcome. Good evening. Let me start
Hey
rolling up
guys.
my sleeves here because we're gonna get into this today. We're gonna get into this today. I appreciate you really coming on here. This is a comic journey first on the comic journey influences show where we got a woman coming on for the very first time, and I'm really excited about that because I get to ask you questions that guys won't answer. So it's pretty cool. So
All right.
I do know a little bit of it. I did my research. I do know you a little bit, a little bit. I did meet you. I did meet you at the Comic Con over in New York City.
Yep.
You, you like hit me a little bit. You shove your hands in my face a little bit, but we're not going to get into that. Let
You
bygones
can be
be
very
bygones.
aggressive sometimes when asked to be.
No, let bygones be bygones. We're not gonna live in the past. Okay, we're not gonna live
Right.
in the past. I'm not gonna. I'm not bitter. We're gonna just move ahead from that. And I do know you a little bit from there, and I do know you a little bit from the content that I've been watching you and through your uh, somewhat broken YouTube experience because you don't have that much content of late, and we'll get into that as well. Um, I did see your origin story. You did put an origin story in there in the beginning, and you got a gazillion freaking IGs that I don't that are coming out of my freaking ears. I don't know what to do with all these posts that you keep putting on there. I can't keep up with them. So if I don't like them, it means I may not even seen them. So
Sad.
you got so many. You got so many. I got to do a full time job to follow your IG. Do you still do the TikTok?
You need an assistant
I do. I do.
for my IG.
This guy sucks. This guy
Yeah,
sucks.
he's not pulling his weight.
Uh, Guess who's going to take his place?
Well, the replacement. Dun
Oh yeah,
dun dun.
he's got his eyes on it. But um, you still doing the TikTok?
A little bit. Like I'm not a very good TikToker. I'm still learning that.
Yeah, I didn't put your
I feel a little
TikTok
like
in
a
the description.
boomer with TikTok.
I'm anti TikTok. I didn't put it in the description. I put your whatnot. I put your IG, and I put your YouTube in there.
Thank
I
you.
don't know if there was anything else that I was supposed to
Nope,
put in there,
that's
but
it.
no TikTok. We don't do TikTok here.
Okay,
No dancing. No,
I understand.
no
Not even a
aerobics
shimmy.
videos. No, nothing of that. We don't do
Not a
TikTok.
shimmy. Nothing.
What?
Not a shimmy. Nothing.
No.
Okay.
Anti TikTok. This is an anti TikTok channel. We don't do any of that. All right. All right. Well, what are you? What the hell are they talking about? Vanilla extra? I don't know. I'm seeing all this kind of stuff over here. I'm not ignoring you, people. I'm gonna try to highlight as many of these comments as possible, but I can't keep up. You're too fast for me. Okay. So no, I'm not dancing. Damn it. We're not dancing. We're not doing any dancing. If Danielle wants to dance, she could dance. Am I calling you Danielle, or am I calling you by your official name? Am I calling you Mrs. the nerdy girl,
This
or
is the
or
nerdy girl.
or am I calling you?
Danielle. I mean, my name is Danielle. Everyone says nerdy girl, but my name is Danielle. So I'm okay
Well,
with both.
I don't. I find it offensive that they're not giving you your official name. You're not nerdy girl. You're the nerdy girl. So just like there's a title for everybody,
Put some
Mister and
respect
Mrs.
on that. The.
You gotta say I'm the nerdy girl. I'm not just any nerdy girl. You're the nerdy girl. So what color you have in your hair today? Is that purplish?
Purple.
Oh, you
Yeah.
got a little purple going on over there.
Yeah.
You got to tell me the story about why you do the hair thing like that. You're my generation. I think you're Generation X, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I think I am. I'll be 40 this year.
You
I think
you're
I think I might be a millennial.
I don't like
I think I'm
millennials.
like right on the cusp of being a
Ah,
millennial and Gen X.
oh my God, you're somewhat of a millennial. All right. All right.
It all makes sense now, right?
I'm not gonna hurt. I'm not gonna hold it against you. I'm not gonna hold it. You're on the fence. You're
Yeah, I'm like a tweener.
you're semi millennial. So yeah, okay, okay, all right, all right. Well, we're gonna have to like live with that. Okay, I apologize, people, for having a millennial on the another millennial.
Another one, another
Yeah,
one.
I'm having
I was
all the
gonna say Tom
millennials.
is younger than me.
So, in case anybody wants to see your origin story, I'm not going to rehash everything. We're going to talk a little bit about like how you started off and stuff like that, but we're going to talk about more of a today, what's happening, more than your origins and your beginnings. If you want to see the origins of the beginnings, I do have a link for the nerdy girls description in the description, and you can go click, and there's an origin video there. It's the very first video in her YouTube, and she will explain to her, explain to everybody where she came from. And there you go. But you've been around for a while. You've been around for like about 15 years, more or less, in this
Uh,
16.
almost 18 years.
Holy crap! You've
Yeah.
been doing this for 18 years.
I went to my first Comic-Con in 2005. My first like big show was San Diego.
That was your first big show, and
Yeah.
what was it about that first big show that got you? That said, "Hey, I'm gonna become
Well,
the
like,
nerdy girl."
I wasn't even so my like nerdy girl brand wasn't really born until a few years ago. I think like 5 or 6 years ago, I kind of met some people at a convention and they're like, "Oh, you're that girl with comic books, that nerdy girl with comic books on her Instagram page, right?" And that's kind of where the nerdy girl brand came from.
Okay, and
I was just selling comic books at
how
shows.
how rank was the smell in that first Comic Con that you
It
went?
wasn't as bad as it is today.
Really? I remember it being
No.
worse than it used to be.
No way. It's way worse today than it was then because there's so many more people now.
Really? Really?
Yeah, because now you're like sardines.
Really, I was pleasantly surprised at New York Comic Con. Yes, we were like sardines when I went there. However, it seems like people are grooming themselves a little bit better, using deodorant and not quite as sweaty as they normally would be. Or maybe it was I don't know.
Well, but don't forget it was October in New York.
That's true. That's very true. That's
And it's not
a
as
good
hot
point.
out then. You
That
go
is
to
a
like
good-
some of these shows and oh my gosh, you don't want people to touch you. It's so gross.
Oh, well, do you have that problem where people come and want to hug you?
Sometimes, well, not even like hugging me. It's just like when like random strangers like walk by and they brush against you. I never mind like someone coming up and saying, "Hey," and introducing themselves and giving me a hug. I'm kind of a hugger, but
And you get that like slippery feel of the rubbing against you. Is that
I don't even pay.
that the disgusting feel of like ah. What was that? You don't know if it's sweat or any other type of kind of
The
secretion.
juice.
Yeah, I believe me, I don't get hugged, but people like bump into me all the time, and I'm like,
Yeah, you feel it, right? When they, oh, yeah. Sometimes it's like, I don't even know who that was that did that.
Well, thankfully, people don't randomly come and hug me. You got that problem? I don't have that problem. Why do people feel that it's more appropriate to go and hug a woman than it is a man in a Comic Con or any kind of environment like that?
You know what? I had never thought of that before, but that is true. I don't know.
Believe me, nobody's coming to hug me, and I'm a sexy freaking beast.
You know what? That is a true statement. People always come in, they want to give hugs, but that's true.
There's a lot of things that we're going to talk about that there's a double standard. I'll tell you that much.
I guess you don't want to hug a guy if you're a guy, and it's because most of the people that go to conventions are guys. They're not, because girls hug me too, but girls hug girls.
My shirt is not designed by Smuckers. This is a very nice shirt.
It does look like a Smuckers shirt.
It's not a Smuckers shirt. It's not a picnic shirt. It's not. All you people, I wore
Picnic is a little better.
I wore a button-down shirt just for Danielle, and you freaking people are making
You should have done a nerd shirt. You should have
You're
done a
making it
Carnage, and then we
difficult
could
for
have
me.
really twinned.
Holy crap, you're making it difficult for me. Okay. I digress. Okay, so you've been around for about 18 years. You go into that Comic Con in San Diego. You had a somewhat pleasant experience. You decided, hey, I'm going to go to another Comic Con after that, and another Comic Con, and another Comic Con. And what made the change for you to go from just going to the Comic Cons and having a good time to actually becoming a full blown nerd and just buying comics? And then from just buying comics, I'm going to sell comics. What brought that all about?
So when I met my boyfriend, he was already selling comic
Wait,
books.
hold on. I just want to make sure that's a question I usually ask all our guests, what their dating relationship is. So I'm telling you guys right now, you just heard her. She has a boyfriend. There's no nerdy girl love for any of you people out there. She's got a boyfriend, so she's off the market. If that changes, you'll let us know. We'll put an update in a bulletin, and we'll
I will
let
make sure
everybody
I post it everywhere. I'll take applications.
know. Okay, let's continue.
Now you're distracting me.
I'm sorry. Please.
He was already buying and selling comic books. And so for me, it was like really learning about the books because I didn't grow up reading them. And for me, I picked the covers and that's what drew me into them. And then I started finding artists that I loved. And then when I would go to shows, I would look for those artists. And so, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Okay. So
I didn't even say anything and you lost your train of thought. Well,
What'd you say?
But just please continue. As if we're talking without a million people watching us, now without the gazillions watching us. They just talk comfortably.
I know it's making me so nervous right now.
Yeah.
So for me, like I kind of learned as I went, and a couple years in, I really started paying more attention, and then I started building my own collection. So I've kind of been buying and selling all along.
Is it distracting?
So I came in as a seller and then became a collector.
Are the highlights distracting you? Should I stop highlighting things? All right. So
no, it's okay. No, it's okay.
We're going to limit the highlights. Okay. Wait. No, TM. We're not talking to you. Okay.
Wait, the other TM.
Okay. So this boyfriend of yours that got you into the world of comics. What was he? Was he a dealer? Was he a broker? Was he
not a broker?
Market seller?
He started as a collector and kind of like found a book on eBay where the letters had been flipped around, and he got a really good deal. He resold that, and then he just kept turning the money into more books and bigger books, and kind of grew the business from there.
So you could say he kind of mentored you into this whole hobby.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. And when did it go from you, basically, helping him out or just joining him and that kind of thing to actually becoming your own brand, your own self, your own, I mean, you always were your old self, but you became.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? If we go back, like even 10 years ago, people would come up to the booth and guys would not want to deal with me. Like they would talk to me and we would be friendly, but they wouldn't want to do the deal with me. And so probably 6 years ago, I was at a show and I was like, listen, I'm who you have to deal with. So you can either buy the book or you're not going to get the book.
You know why they probably didn't want to deal with you?
Because I'm tougher.
Yeah. What? Well, yeah. Yeah. Women are meaner when it comes to like.
No, not meaner. I'm just a very good negotiator.
Yeah, you call it whatever you want. You're meaner. And women are meaner when it comes to dealing with negotiations. And sometimes you bat your eyelashes a little bit as well. and like, what the hell? I can't fight with this woman. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, it's a lot easier for me to sit there and argue with a big freaking sweaty dude that
is true.
That looks annoying. And I could focus my aggravation towards them than a woman that I might be accused of yelling at a woman. And I don't want to do that. So I'm sure that a lot of other people feel the same exact way that I do, as far as being a little bit of a handicap and disadvantage as far as negotiating with a woman. That's why I need to find myself a good nerdy woman to have with me. So whenever
So she can negotiate for you,
oh
right?
yeah, oh yeah, I will milk that to no end. I swear to God. I strongly believe there is a double standard in this community, just like in a lot of different community and different businesses. And hey, if you could take advantage of it, if you got it, use it. That's the way I look at it. So if I had a chick by my side and I could use her, I'm all for that. That's why I went through that whole campaign of the sex sells campaign on whatnot, where I was just
Oh
showing.
goodness. Yeah,
uh,
that was something.
yeah. So and they didn't block me. They didn't block me, and I got myself 1,000 subscribers just because of of the damn.
Oh
Uh,
my gosh. Yeah, you didn't get shadow banned?
nope, nope. I,
That's shocking.
I literally overnight got 1,000 followers just because I was putting the most obscene thumbnails on there because they were coming in and they were staying
Well,
and they were
hey,
fine.
nice job on the subs.
There you go. There you go. So,
Whatever it takes.
hey, listen, if I can't look like that, I'll use other people's pictures that look like that. So that's how it goes. So you got into the whole thing where you sitting negotiating. They didn't want to deal with you at the tables. How did you get past that barrier?
Well, I just told them they don't have a choice.
And they just basically caved in. That's basically what
Well,
it
yeah,
was.
what are you going to say? If you want to buy a book or you want to do a deal, do you want to do it or not?
Right? Hey, see, you're tough. That's how it works. And even if they begged, you wouldn't give them a break on the deal.
Well, I mean, I'm always willing to negotiate a little bit. I like everyone to win. I feel like the best deals are the ones where both people walk away happy.
Yeah, you're usually right about that. You're usually about right. I look at it like this: both people have to be a little bit unhappy in order for it to be a good deal. Because if you're both
Well,
unhappy a little bit, that means
you both feel
you
like you gave too much.
you both gave something up.
I like happy mediums.
I'm an unhappy kind of half full.
Perspective. It's all about
You
perspective.
do the half full. I do the half empty. Either
True.
way, either
Yin
way,
and yang. Yin and yang.
either way it feels it comes to the same spot. So you get to this point where you're sitting at the booths with your boyfriend and you're negotiating now for where do you branch out, where do you become the nerdy girl, and you actually start making your own brand and your own tables and your own channels and etc etc.
Well, shortly after that, like once I realized that people will still deal with me, and then I was at um, the show where people recognize posts from my social media. And then I would say that I'd already switched over to Nerdy Girl Comics on Instagram. But I would say I really went, and I was setting up at shows by myself at that point. But I would say at the beginning of COVID, when there were no more shows, I really leaned heavily into Instagram as a means to still be able to sell books.
And how you feel that worked out for you? Like, was it easy transition, or was it like a process where you really felt like now you're on your own and not so easy?
No, because I already had been so involved for so long. And, for a little while when I was still helping in comics, but I wanted my own thing, I did direct sales for a little while. And it was all for me, I took away get comfortable being uncomfortable. So for me to make a transition over to selling on Instagram and doing live streams, like the first live stream I did was very nerve-wracking because I'm always nervous the first time I do something. But to be able to still run my business full time and still, because for me, I love going to shows and setting up at shows and attending them because I love interaction with people. And Instagram lives let me still have those interactions.
All right, that's fair. And now you're established. You're the nerdy girl. You got a brand. You're doing live streams. Where'd you start your live streams as far as selling? Was it on IG? Was it on YouTube?
IG.
Did you ever do the YouTube thing as far as
Nope, I've
selling?
never sold on YouTube. I've never done a
Smart
Facebook
woman,
live sale.
smart woman, because I got an axe to grind with some of the YouTube stuff going on, and
Nope.
I would have given you the shit in the world about it because right now it's like really really fresh in my mind, and I'm gonna freaking blow up in a future
Ooh, what is
video about
it?
it. Oh, you'll see in a future video. I promise
Ooh.
you, I got a lot to talk about as far as how YouTube auctions are conducted. Besides the fact that you're all freaking cheating on your taxes, besides the fact that you're doing that and you're giving me shit, you're going to see what's going to happen. That's for the future. Now it's about you. So I'm glad that you're not doing that because you would have put me off on a rant right now because I'm really fresh on that right now. So you did them all on IG. How did that work out for you?
Great. I kind of started doing lives where I would just jump on and do like community Q&As. And I started building a following that way. And then I was probably doing a live sale at least once a month. And then I would still be posting books on my wall for sale. And it was able to, well, it worked out really well for me. I grew a following from selling on Instagram. I was able to connect with a lot of buyers from not just in the US, but internationally, because that's the beauty of social media, right?
Yeah, it definitely works out. Where did you pick up your accent? You're a New Yorker.
Yeah,
You're like
Rochester.
you're in New York. Well, not like me. I'm from the more from the
No, I'm
city.
like, I'm Rochester,
But you,
Western.
but you got like a
I
valley
know
girl
everyone
accent
always
going
says
on.
I sound like a valley girl from California. I do not know where
Where's
the
that
accent
come
comes from.
from? Where the
I
hell
don't
does
know.
that come from? I
I
mean,
don't know. I was born this way.
how long have you lived in Florida?
5 years.
And you already lost the New York accent. It's gone. It's the
I feel
nothing.
like that's how I always talk.
Holy crap! How did you? Yeah, I feel like I'm watching a 1980s film. Like of the Valley Girls and stuff like that. It's
I get
nice.
you will not be surprised to know I get that all the time. You
I,
are not the first person to say that.
I am not surprised.
Cali Comics said it doesn't sound like Cali.
Oh well, I wish I lived in Cali to be able to differentiate. All I know is from the John Hughes films or
The
something like
movies.
that.
Call out the accent, chat.
Does she have a Valley Girl accent or does she not? I wish I knew how to do a freaking poll on this thing. I would put one up there, but I always found that interesting. You grew up in Rochester. New York, different vibe altogether. You move to Florida. Any different vibes you're getting as far as the comic community and that kind of stuff that down there? I mean, you're saving money on taxes. That helps. But
Yeah, that's nice.
but the fact that you're
Yeah.
not in Florida, what like?
Yeah, but I
How
don't
much of
have
a
winter.
difference besides the weather?
I don't have winter.
It's sleeting outside right now.
Yeah,
I don't.
you know what? It was like 83 and sunny and a blue sky here today.
I don't
And
want
it
to
was the
talk
same
about weather.
yesterday.
I don't want to talk about weather. Stop flaunting your weather to me. All right, so tell me about the weather. Okay, go ahead.
It was
Tell me.
really nice today. It was really beautiful.
Oh my god.
It's funny because I don't really do a lot in like local comic book scenes. I do so much online. Honestly, almost all of my friends in my real, like even my day-to-day life that I talk to every day are all my comic book friends. Like I have a couple of girlfriends I hang out with here, but really my community of people and most of my friends are people I know from online or I've known from conventions over the years or other dealers that I know for over a decade.
So it doesn't really matter where you are.
Yeah, no, because
You
like,
just,
yeah, my whole life is built around comic books.
it's basically what everything is, especially after we got locked down and everything,
Yeah.
and the quarantines. Everything went like really sped up into the digital age.
Yep.
So I guess it doesn't matter as much as where you are. Do you miss being in the New York scene at all, or
No.
no? Well, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. 14 more years, and I'm out of here.
Not that he's counting.
Not counting. Not counting. 14 more years.
I was
No,
up in Buffalo a couple weeks ago and I was like, oh my God, I will never live in Western New York ever again. You cannot pay me to move back to New York.
I don't blame you. And you got a daughter too, right?
Yeah,
Just one
17.
kid.
Yeah, one and done.
How does she feel about you doing what you're doing and being the nerdy girl? The nerdy girl. How does she feel about that? Like, did she get embarrassed? Or is she all for
Um,
it? Is she like weird about it?
well, she's grown up in this world. Like when I went to San Diego the first time, I was pregnant with her. And so she's kind of always been surrounded by comic books. She just finally is starting to choose covers that she likes and she has them hanging in her bedroom. So that's like, I'm happy to see she's finally at least appreciating the art. I think sometimes she thinks I'm a little cringe. I think sometimes she thinks I'm cooler than she gives me credit for.
So
And like,
she
yeah,
won't admit to it as far as if you're cool or not. But
yeah.
when she feels you're cringe, she'll basically tell you.
Of course she will.
Sounds like a typical teenager. I got a 16-year-old, so and I got a 13 going out to 14-year-old right now, and they're basically dad's
I
weird.
feel you.
Dad's weird, and they don't even know half the crap I do. But you're putting yourself out in the public, so I was just curious how that interaction went.
She has a couple of her friends that follow me. And they're always like, "Oh, I saw your mom's post."
That's funny when you got your own kids following you on there. So when I have a question for you, like there's a lot of stuff that happens as far as social media is concerned and stuff like that. I know that I get a lot of weird messages, direct messages, posts, comments, etc., etc. Just like everybody else does. But I've noticed from my observance on yours and other female content creators channels and portals that there's a certain different set of comments that are made there. You want
Yeah,
to
for sure.
talk about like how weird those things could get and like how uncomfortable they could get, because I think that's something that nobody really talks about as far as how nasty people could get, especially if they make fake accounts. I know I have 100 fake accounts that I post and tell people like whatever I don't want to say, but no, but all the truth is like people get very very bold and very nasty behind
Yeah,
the
it's
keyboard.
really easy to say something from behind a keyboard anonymously on the internet.
Did it ever get to a point where it became so difficult that you had to get the authorities involved or anything like that?
Um, no, well, I had like, well, not from people saying stuff on the internet. I did worry someone was gonna like come find me at a show one time, and I got a little nervous there. Um, but I usually just ignore most of the comments that are said. Every once in a while, I'm like, would you say that? Or would you appreciate someone saying that to your daughter or your wife or your mother? Like the things that come out of the mouth, sometimes I'm just like, you would never have the balls to say that to my face.
They get like super pervy and stuff like that.
Super pervy. I have like someone who always wants to like buy my shoes.
What's the deal with the shoes and the feet?
I don't know.
I know that's a thing. I never understood it.
I always joke and say like I have Feet Finder. I don't actually have a Feet Finder account, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, have you ever tried to put your shoes out for auction and see what happened?
No. Did
I
you not
want
see
to
what
tell
happened
you.
when I auctioned my jacket that I had that I was going to stream at 10,000 followers?
Yes,
Oh my God. Can you imagine what will happen?
well, you know what? You brought it up, so let's talk about that right now because that was a point of contention for a lot of people. There were a lot of people that got pissed that
I know.
you auctioned a jacket. It ended
Yeah.
up selling out something like $200, something like that, or what
Yeah.
was the final price?
$180 or something.
$180, whatever, a
But
thousand.
it was like part of my stream. I actually won the jacket on Whatnot like a year prior. And I would always wear it on Mondays for Mutant Mondays. And everyone would always say, "Oh my God, I want your jacket. Where'd you get it?" And I'm like, I don't know. I won it at auction on here. And so I said, okay, when I hit 10,000 followers, I'm going to run it. And so I just put it up in an auction for $1. The people who were bidding have been watching and coming to my show and buying from me for almost the entire time I've been on the app. And they knew what they were bidding on.
So basically, they bought it because
Yeah, they were
you were wearing it.
supporting me. They were supporting my streams. They're my buyers.
It wasn't about value. It wasn't about anything. It wasn't about them even fitting in the jacket.
Well, the guy, yeah, it was his size.
Oh, it worked out for him, I guess.
Yeah.
He got actually wear. Did you feel?
I
cringy?
washed it before I shipped it.
Did you feel cringy that he bought it because he wanted to wear it and feel what the nerdy girl feels like
Maybe
when she
give
wears
some
a jacket?
extra, like.
Maybe.
No, I've actually met the person who won it in person. He's a
That's
really nice guy.
So it was basically they wanted a memorabilia as far as you. That was
I
concerned.
guess so, yeah.
Whatever the case, whatever the reason people buy anything for, whether you're a person off the street, whether you're a person that's somewhat social media famous, or whether you're a celebrity, whatever it is, people buy things for their own personal reasons. Do you regret putting it up for auction after the backlash?
No.
No,
It's no
right?
different than people subscribing to people's YouTube channels or paying super chats. What's the difference?
I feel the same way, but I was just curious if you felt after it happened that it was something that
No,
you.
I think that people love to talk about me.
Now, when they do talk about you, I know that there's been a few instances where you like got to put it up against the wall and it got really contentious.
And I just want to highlight that on that stream, it was my 10K stream. Like, it was a big milestone stream. So yeah. Okay, go ahead. Contentious.
Do you feel like, I know that you get upset? You have to get upset as a human being sometimes when things are thrown at you. Overall, though, do you feel that it's a positive or negative for you that you're getting all that attention?
I think it's both. I think that sometimes I'm surprised by people who believe and feed into rhetoric on the internet that's usually baseless. And sometimes it's like, well, they're talking about me and people are finding me, and people who want to form their own opinions can hopefully form their own opinions and realize.
Are you a believer in there's no such thing as bad publicity?
Everyone says that, but sometimes it's a little intense. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, it depends on how vile it could get or how
Yeah.
toxic it could get. Or if have you had people since there was a few incidents. You had the C2E2 incident that you
Yeah.
had to go through and endure. You had the one not influencer incident that you had to go through as well. You had this jacket gate scandal that you had as well. Have you been to any public areas since then where you met other community members, fans, and that kind of stuff, or just people that don't like you that came in, face to face, confronted you about it?
Nobody has ever confronted me face to face.
So it's all keyboard warriors that
It
are
is
basically
all.
doing it.
Nobody has ever confronted me face to face. I have reached out to different people to say, "Hey, let's have a conversation. I don't appreciate that you said this or that, and in the future, I'd appreciate if you come talk to me." I've reached out to people and I've gone up to people and I've said that, but no one has ever come up to me to confront me. Everyone says everything behind a keyboard.
Interesting. I find that very. I
And
promise
some
you.
of the people that talk about me block me, so I can't even defend myself. It's insane.
I have no respect for that. I have zero respect for that, and I'll tell you why. If you have something bad to say to somebody on a keyboard, you should be able to say it to them to their face.
Yep.
And I think everybody in the chat and everybody that listens to this video knows that 100% I back up what I say. If I don't like you, if I have an issue with the nerdy girl, I promise you that at the next convention or wherever I would see you, I would come and I would tell you, and I would hold the camera and tell you everything in front of the camera, and get gazillions of views doing it. And that's how it works.
Make it count.
Yeah, if I'm gonna do it, let me do it right,
Gotta do it right.
and become YouTube famous and make gazillions. That's how it works. Don't you make gazillions on YouTube? Isn't that how it's supposed to work? Right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. That's how you go viral.
of course, of course. So you've got you have you've been a character that's been in the spotlight, um, for good reasons and for bad, for the past few years, you know, and it got amplified when you got into the whatnot stage, as far as um, becoming of that little whatnot clique that you were part of, with do you mind the word clique? It is a clique, group, whatever you want to call it, uh,
Squad.
uh, with Comic
I feel like
Tom,
click is like I feel like click has such like a negative connotation.
but it is.
I didn't, yeah, but like I know that there's a lot of negativity around that, but I have always been a person who will sit at my own table, and anyone who wants to come sit with me can come sit with me.
That's a good way to go about it. Yeah, and think of it. But we'll call it a group.
So I get it.
We'll call it a group. I don't care if you want to say I'm
Yeah.
part of. I've never been accused of for being part of a clique because nobody likes me. So I'm always by myself. But if I was part of a group and they called it a clique, I would like it. Why not? That's my clique. That's my that's my gang.
That's my
Oh,
squad.
I embrace it. You got
Yeah.
to take it and embrace it. So you have the situation where you part of that group, that whole whatnot scenario, and people started to getting all crazy with the whole influencer idea, that you're influencing people to buy things. You I can't sell a comic for $2, but she sells it for a gazillion dollars. Why can she do it, and why can she not do it? Do you feel that there is any truth to that, or is it something that people that just are have sour grapes, or they're a little bit disgruntled with their own performance, are taking it out on others? What are your
Well,
thoughts on that?
well, I think that there's definitely some sour grapes. I think that people don't always realize that I've been selling on Whatnot now for a year and a half. And before I even started streaming with part of the Whatnot Wednesday team, I had already been on Whatnot for probably 6 months or more prior, building my own following. And so I think that, yeah, sometimes I get stronger prices, but I've also been selling on there longer. I've grown a customer base. I run all of my auctions at $1. Now I start them a little higher, but I usually run my auctions at $1. And I don't really know what stuff is worth most of the time, because usually if I'm selling modern stuff, until I was streaming on Whatnot, I didn't even really do variants. I came mostly from a vintage world and stopped buying stuff after the early 90s. And so I don't have an opinion on what it's worth. For me, if I'm running an auction at $1, it's worth whatever someone's willing to pay for it.
And
And I feel bad sometimes when someone sells something for a lot lower. But I feel like also look at your business. And are you just starting on the app? You shouldn't run things at $1 if you're just building your following.
so you've stopped doing a lot of dollar whatnots now to yourself, right?
I still do more than half, I would say. And I think I started them at $5 now just because of the fees. Like if I sell something for $1, I'm losing money after my packaging.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I occasionally saw one on myself, and I don't deal with the dollar. I never did deal with the dollar unless I was just doing a gimmick. Instead of giving a giveaway, I'll just
Yeah.
put up something for $1 and then let them pay whatever they can. And usually it's a
Yeah.
dollar. So at least that covers
The
the fees.
shipping.
No, not the shipping, the fees.
Oh yeah,
The
right,
dollar.
exactly. Because like when I sell something for $1, my net is from Whatnot is like 53 cents or something. And then my packaging is over $2.
53 cents. How did you come to that calculation?
I don't know. I click view and it tells me what I earned on that transaction.
That's a big chunk that's reduced.
I know it's a lot when you sell something for $1 because automatically you lose 30 cents.
Holy crap! I got. Oh, that's right. You lose the 30 cents right off the bat. I keep forgetting because
Yeah.
that's right. You lose 30 cents right off the bat for any sale they make, and then I think it's what 8% or 10% on top of that, right? Something along those lines. 12%.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
like
Whatever
12,
it is.
it's 8% plus 2.9.
There you go. That's what it is. There you go. Adam wrote it in there. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah. And
So
I'll also say that like sometimes my streams I'll sell stuff for more than maybe it's going for in other areas, but a lot of times I sell stuff at under market. Like I just ran a slab auction last weekend, and anyone who says that I tell people something is worth XYZ and I'm hyping up a price, come into one of my streams and don't watch YouTube videos, because you'll see like the deals that people get from me a lot.
so it balances out. So you're gonna lose out on some things, and
Yeah.
then the other stuff it goes up. Do you ever feel bad when something goes out of control? It's a $50 comic, and all of a sudden it sells for $200 for some bizarre
Well,
reason.
I throw something in for them behind the scenes, but that's no one's business.
So you always take care of your buyers
Yeah,
regardless.
always. How do you think I've sustained a business for almost 20 years?
Well, you have to be somewhat of a smart
You have
business
to be
person.
fair with people. My business and the way I run my life, period, is like firm but fair.
That's actually a good way to go about it, and that's funny because I actually made a couple purchases from you in recent history. I ended up buying one of these things,
Ah,
and I had bought another package, and we threw in another one of these. I don't think you remembered that I already had bought one of them, so I got two of them now, which makes it even better because I'm hoping that you'll do something really, really notorious in the comic community, and everybody will hate
are
you.
you ready for another scandal?
Yeah, that's why I got it. I'm waiting for the scandal so I could like cash in on it.
You
So
should put an acetate on it.
yeah, you know what? Maybe I should with a bunch of extra staples all across there.
I think you should put 83 staples because I was born in 83.
There you go. I think I'm gonna put 83 staples. We're gonna soup it up. We're gonna put the acetate. Maybe I'll even put a colored acetate on the other side to give it a
Have
enhancement
to.
as well. So yeah, I think, and I'll give a dry erase marker so you could actually draw like mustaches and all kinds of stuff on it. We'll make it
To
interactive.
mark it everywhere.
We'll make it an interactive comic. But I collect comics from community members, um, hoping that they do something really fucked up, and then I'll actually
I'll
cash in.
sign it for you. If I do something really fucked up, I'll sign it for you.
Please, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna hold on to this. Maybe I'll hold on to both copies, or maybe I'll just give one away. I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see, and I'll share the wealth. But I'm greedy, so I don't know if I'll do that. But uh, you, it's all business. It's all business, and people just don't understand that a lot of time. A lot of times, where they're taking their personal feelings about it, and their um, sometimes their
Yeah.
own personal problems, and taking it out on other people as well. You put a comic up at $1, it goes up. It goes up to $200. It might be worth $100. Whether you throw something in there or not, that's your prerogative. That's your business model, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They bid on the comic. It's not your responsibility to tell them stop.
Yeah. I don't understand why everyone is always counting everyone's pockets.
Thank you. I always say that.
I do not understand why everyone is counting everyone's pockets.
Stop putting your hands in other people's
Like
pockets.
we are all grown-ups. I do usually throw something in though. I do want to say that. I do usually throw something in for people. If something goes for more than I thought it would, I'll throw something in. But what someone wants to pay for something is their choice.
It's their choice, and you should have no remorse for it. And if they have an issue with what they did, maybe an impulse or something like that, maybe they should rethink how they approach these type of auctions going forward, right?
Well, yeah.
Or maybe if they hate your guts,
Or maybe they just want to
stop
spend extra.
watching, stop buying from
Yeah,
you.
or don't go, right? No one has to come to my stream. No one has to follow me on social media.
No,
I appreciate the support and I love the support, but no one has to do those things. We all have free will.
and not everybody's gonna like you. Not
Yeah,
everybody's gonna
listen,
hate
I
you.
know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I know I feel like sometimes I should be, but I understand I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm an acquired taste.
Well, everybody has their lovers and their haters. It's just how it is. I don't think I ever met one person that was just loved unapologetically by everybody in the world. There's always going to be somebody that's going to be against it. Always. Or you're going to have that person that says, "Well, I want to be the person that says something against what everybody else is saying. I want to be, going against the grain and that kind of thing." Or you have other issues where people are trying to better their own business by hurting somebody else's business. Because I will say this, there is, I'm not saying this to endorse you or anything like that for this reason, but I think it's a really important thing for people to understand that a lot of the people that you hear that initiate a lot of these conversations and a lot of these negative campaigns are also people that are in the businesses themselves. They're the actual sellers themselves. They actually sometimes have their own LCSs, that kind of thing. And it's kind of like a mudslinging campaign in order to better their own business by hurting somebody else's business. That's just my own
Well, I'll
perspective.
also say that, like, a lot of the times it's the same group of people that are repeating the same rhetoric from each other.
Agreed. I feel 100% on that. Now there is something that I think that I you do that kind of puts you at advantage over a lot of the other sellers.
Okay.
Well, you're a woman, okay,
Mhm.
and you got no problem of flaunting how you're a woman a lot of times on your thumbnails and on your videos as well, and that kind of thing. Do you feel that that gives you an advantage over your average guy seller?
Well, I guess so. I mean, yeah,
You're
I'm a
not
woman, a
you're
man.
not conscious of it.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Like,
Of
I'm a
course,
girl
that's
in a guy's world. Yeah.
so you are conscious of it, and you make sure you exploit the fact that people
Well,
like
whoa, whoa,
women.
whoa. I don't exploit it,
Well,
but I sometimes, yeah.
everybody takes words as if they're negative or not. If you read the dictionary, you read the word influencer, it's not a negative word. You read the word exploit, it could go both ways. It could be a positive, it could be a negative thing because you are basically bringing out something publicly by making it by exploiting it. Um, you do have an advantage over everybody else.
For sure.
Should you feel bad that you have that advantage?
No.
Where do you have a disadvantage as a woman being in this business? 'Cause
Well,
that's a
people feel
major
like they can
advantage.
punk on me.
There, what?
People feel like they can punk on me.
You feel just from the aspect that they think that she's a naive woman and I could get take advantage of her and get deals from her, or I could give her a endless barrage of toxic comments and I'll get away with
For
it.
sure.
You know,
100%.
you feel
All,
that, that
all of
that
those things.
and that's a consistent thing, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And you feel that that's a reason why a lot of other women don't really make themselves that public in this community. Or I mean,
I
we
don't,
have a few, but there's not that many. I could be. I
I
I have
know.
a hard time counting with two hands how many actual women put themselves out there the same way you do, as far as being a seller, a dealer, a personality. There's not that many that put themselves out there. Why do you think
Well,
that's the
and
case?
well, I think there's a few different things, right? I think sometimes they're nervous. I think that there aren't really a lot of female dealers, period. There's definitely not at a high end level. I think that I'm probably the only full time high end comic book dealer. I, as far as I Yeah. There's some like wives that come to shows, but they're not as involved in the business. So I think I'm the only female high-end comic book dealer. I think that it's a little hard to get into because it's such a guy's world. Not all women have like that want to be like, okay, I'm taking my seat at the table. I don't care what they say, I'm doing it. Like, it's a really hard thing to say, I'm going to do this.
Well, yeah, it absolutely is. Well, I mean, besides the mental barriers of getting in there, and there is also a financial barrier to get in there as well. Whether it's men or women, it's not an easy thing to be able to put really, really high end, expensive books the way you put out there on a consistent basis and have a huge catalog of inventory where you could actually, at any given time, pull out a 50, $100,000 book without a blink of an eye. Because I've seen you actually put out some stuff where I said, hold on, how the hell did she get that? I haven't even seen one of those in the convention. I haven't seen those in person. How does she get that? You find your way to get them one way or the other, whether it's your connections, whether it's from your boyfriend's connections, whether it's any kind of way to be able to find it. You find those books.
But I will say that online, it's a lot easier to sell online as a female. There aren't really, okay, I see Promiscuous's comments. I have not seen very many high end female dealers at shows. I think online, on Instagram, on whatnot, on other social media platforms where you can sell, there's definitely more. Look at Skeleton Key.
Mhm.
I think that made it easier to be a female dealer, but I still don't think that not a lot of people want to set up online.
So you kind of take an offense when you're put in the same category as some of the other female dealers?
No, I never take it offensively.
It's okay
I
if you
think
do.
the more girls, the better.
No, I'm saying as far as your caliber of seller.
No, I would never take it offensively, though. Like, I think that for me, it doesn't matter. We're all doing the same thing.
Are you competitive? Do you want to
Yeah.
always be the best?
Yes.
Good. Take note of it, people. You have to have an ego. You have to always want to be the best.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you'll never get to the next point. But you do obtain some of these insanely difficult to find books. Not the fact that you find the books themselves, the grades that you find the books in, I find more impressive than anything else. Because you'll pull out a certain book, I don't know, an X-Men 1 or something like that, and then you'll have multiple different grades of it. Not that many people, not that many dealers will have a catalog like that or willing to hold that kind of inventory in order to sell. I mean, yeah, at any given time, you have a huge catalog of books that you're holding in inventory, which is a lot of money, and it could take you quite a while to unload it because the high end stuff sometimes will sit a little bit, right? You're not going to have a huge pool of people that are going to be willing to buy $100,000 or $200,000 book.
Well, that's true.
So you might have to sit on that for X amount of time,
Yeah.
a lot more than it'd be to sell a $50, $100 book, $200 book. Those sell on a daily basis. So there's a financial obligation that you have to take with it. There's a mental dedication that you have to take into getting into this business. And that applies to not only women, it also applies to men as well. Yeah. But I've seen a lot of women just hesitant to actually want to put themselves out there. Were you always an outgoing person? Were you always like a person that did you get in that first video or that first clip that you did and just jump behind the mic without effort and say, I'm here?
Yeah.
The nerdy girl's here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes. I love people. And so for me, like, I get to sell comic books. I get to have some of my best friends be comic book collectors and sellers. And this is what I get to do every day. Like, my life is literally like momming and comic books. Oh my God, I love that Starling 49. That's one of my favorite books.
Yeah, you've pulled some really impressive books. I saw you on Rob's show. I've seen the stuff that you put out on.
Rob, I saw your message. Yes. I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. Okay, I'm sorry.
I saw you on Instagram. Rob, it's not about you. This is my show, damn it. Okay, it's my show.
Sorry.
Okay, just making sure everybody understands that.
All right.
Okay.
Same page.
All right. So, you, what is the book? Well, this is a stupid question. You probably hear this all the time, but we're going to ask it again because that's what we do on these channels. We ask the same 100 questions at the same time. I just mix them up a little bit. What is the biggest book you've ever obtained in your hands?
Action Comics 1.
I had a feeling that you were going to say that. And that's what, in a 3.0 grade or
My copy now is a 3.5.
3.5? I knew it was somewhere on there.
I was actually involved in brokering the first book for $1 million, but it couldn't be disclosed publicly because there was an NDA involved. But that NDA has lapsed. And so I was involved in helping to broker the first $1 million sale before someone else.
And how did that feel, being part of that transaction?
Oh my God, it was surreal.
It must be like a jolt of electricity to
It was
to
surreal.
make a sale like that. Like, wow.
Just to like be, it was surreal. There's not even another word for it. It was like when I bought, like a few years ago, when I bought that Action collection that I'm sitting in the middle of on my Instagram page. And the Action one in that collection was raw, and the guy had bought it in like the 70s. And to be able to like flip through the pages of an Action one and like smell the pages and like really just get to be in that moment, it's surreal.
Were you wearing gloves?
No, you don't wear gloves when you touch. No, it is not okay. It is a bad thing to wear gloves unless you are touching modern comics because you don't want to put fingerprints on them. Holding gloves is actually more damaging. You can't feel the paper.
Uh-oh, now you're gonna hit a sore point on a lot of people. They're gonna get all nuts with you about wearing gloves or not.
Sometimes, so like on Golden Age books, you can feel the resto.
Yeah,
and if you're wearing gloves, you can't feel it.
You know, I got a guy that's in the chat. If he's still there, Jerry the Jitterbug. This guy does like all kinds of crazy restoration on comics. I never seen him wear gloves in my life.
It is not a thing.
And he does phenomenal work.
The internet.
He does phenomenal work, like nobody else. And if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me as far as not wearing the gloves on there.
It was not a thing until social media.
I guess so, but you see these people, they coming in with like Undertakers with the big rubber gloves.
Yeah, that was an Action one that was a 9.0. like over a decade ago.
Wow, what would that sell for today?
Millions.
That would be quite a sale, and that's quite a jolt of electricity that you would have there.
Yeah.
But you've done these big transactions. You've had that you still own that Action one in your hands right now, at least a 3.5 in your hands, not the 9.0, but hey, it's not too shabby to have a 3.5 in your hands. What's the book that's been dodging you, that you've never actually even had in your hands, or is
that
there?
I've not had.
That's
a really hard question. Because there's like books I've owned that I've sold, and I wish I had back.
Yeah, I want to know what that one book that's been dodging you.
Oh man,
that you've had on your hit list that you just can't, for one reason or another, just can't get into your hands, or has there been? Or
I don't really think I'm trying to think of like all the different books that I really wanted to own a copy of, and I've owned it at least once. I have one that I sold that it's the book that I regret selling the most.
What's that?
PEP 34.
That's the first Archie?
It's not. No, PEP 22 is first Archie. PEP 34 is just like this really crazy Nazi cover. And I just love that it's like an MLJ book that's so gritty. Because like for me, like what drew me into comic books was the World War II covers, like the Schomburg craziness and the Timelies. And like watching what was going on in history on the covers of these comic books and the propaganda that comic books were being used to spread. Just that's what got me.
Wow, that's an answer. Like I had a feeling you're going to tell me that there's no book that you haven't been able to obtain yet. Um, just because I've seen the stuff you've shown. Like, what is there really left that you haven't had in your hands? And you seem like a determined person.
Yeah, if I like really, really wanted it, I would. I've already owned it, or I found it, or I was thinking like Reformed Schoolgirl, like that yellow cover. Like I've owned one. I guess I would want like a nice copy of that book, but now it's gotten expensive, and I don't really want to pay for it.
Well,
But
everything's
at
expensive
34,
right now. Regardless
huh?
of the market going through a slump, it's still expensive
Yeah, it's
compared to
still
where it was.
expensive, and I feel like, especially on key issues like Silver Age, Bronze Age, even gold. I mean, Golden Age has held up more than anything. Um, but
Do you
it
feel
goes
that's
back
going to
to,
be a continuing trend?
say it again.
Do you feel that's going to be a continuing trend as far as golden age keeping up and continuing to accelerate? Because for years just been stagnant. Like
I
just
know, but I
it
think
wouldn't
that
move.
people, I think we saw a lot of different crossover from other hobbies, and they understand and appreciate a lot rarity and scarcity. And when you look at some of these comic books like Superman one, Batman one, Action one, and Tech 27, and like the big grails and how few copies there are of them compared to other hobbies or other books, they want those first, and then we'll see them like that subset of collectors go, and they're like, okay, well, I got the big keys, now I want AF-15. And then from the other side, we're going to see the guys who come in and they want their 90s keys, and then they're like, okay, well, I have these, I have a little more money, I'm going to go back to the Bronze Age and then the Silver Age. And so I think we're always going to have like this like ebbs and flows of like mixing and going into all the different decades. That's going to keep, there's going to be some like peaks and valleys, but I think golden age, if you look at it long term, even when it goes slow, when it gets those spikes, they're really strong, and they always end up going up. Rarely do you see golden age keys go.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think golden age has a lot of growth to do and a lot of catching up to do as well because for years upon years, nobody was touching it. I mean, there were certain things that the EC stuff people were touching, the timely stuff they were touching, but there was a lot of stuff that has been like really neglected. So I don't know if westerns will ever take off
No, I don't think so.
and romance law novels. I don't. I
Well,
really
some of
don't.
like, there's a couple of the romance books though. Some of the Baker stuff goes off.
Some. I mean, you have your certain books that
Yeah.
they
But I agree.
cover.
Like overall, I don't think it will.
Unless we go into the Wild Wild West again and it becomes a trend. I don't
Except
know.
that Rifleman cover that everyone wants.
There you go. There you go. But there's been so many different changes in that, and we're gonna see where it goes. But because you have such a massive collection, and I've been asking a lot of people this, and I've been doing my own research and trying to figure out what the best mode is. How do you help insure yourself of all these books that you have? Do you believe in collectors insurance? Do you do homeowner rider policies? If
A
you don't,
combination.
if you don't do anything, don't comment, and because you don't want people to come to you. But it's a combination of homeowner policy and
Yeah,
collect.
security, all that, like great security system. Yeah.
Do you have any tips for anybody that has a larger collection that wants to invest to insure themselves what the right mode to go down is?
Go like most expensive down. And then I
What
also have like a bank vault too.
bank vault? That's actually funny. Thorough said he refused to believe in any of that, and just goes to a bank security box and that's it. So there's a lot of people with that same mindset, but
Yeah.
with the bank security, even there, I don't trust the banks. But that's another thing. I would still insure it if that was the case. But do you have a Detective Comics 27 in your possession too now?
Yeah, I have a Text 27,
What's the grade on that one?
a 5.
A 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like basically lace my house in cameras too. Like I have cameras all over my house
Wow.
outside of it.
Wow, you got a 5, you have a Detective 5, you have Action Comics 3.5. It's amazing. That's
Thank you.
amazing, amazing collection. Amazing, amazing collection. And I
I
could
actually
tell.
have Action Comics 1 to 23.
Are you going to do the whole first 100
No,
run? No, you're not that maniacal. You're not that nuts to want to do that.
it's too many.
Do you actually read any of the books?
So I read every once in a while. For a while, I had not read comic books, but I did like this test. I actually did it for my Instagram page, but I read a book from the Golden Age, a book from the Silver Age, a book from the late 70s, early 80s, and then I did one like a modern book so I could see how long it took. And Golden Age stories are so bad.
Sometimes it's so
They're
bad they're good though.
so cheesy.
But sometimes they're so bad they're
And it's
good.
like funny and it's like entertaining. So it's like, who wrote this?
Sometimes you take one of those stories, you say, "What kind of freaking acid was this person
Yeah.
on when they
Yeah.
were
What were
writing
you
it?"
on?
But you know what? They have their charm. If
That
you,
well, you know what? It speaks to when they were written, right?
yeah, that's what it is. I never like get nuts about certain time errors and certain things that they wrote in those books because it's reflective of the time that it was in there.
Yeah.
But it's fun to go back on and say, "What the hell were you thinking when you did this?"
Well, for me, it's funny because like you got so much more reading time for 10 cents. It took me over 20 minutes to read a Golden Age book. It took me like 60 seconds to read the book that just came out.
That's very true. That's very true. So you're somewhat of a reader. You're not an avid reader. You don't have your
I don't
weekly
have time. I
pull.
don't even have time to watch all the Disney shows.
Who does?
Yeah, like
You,
I am always working.
well, that's a good thing. It's a good thing to have to work. But yeah, are you more of a collector or more of a dealer? Like, what do you feel that better describes you?
Oh, well, of course, I'm a dealer. I mean, I buy and sell comic books every day.
So there's
But
nothing
some of
that's
my
off limits as far as being for sale in your collection.
oh yeah, I have a lot of books that I would only sell if I absolutely had to. Of course, like all my Golden Age keys. I have a Journey 83 90. I have a Spider-Man one. I've just now started adding some Silver Age keys in. For a while, it was just the Golden Age stuff.
So now you're getting in with a younger crowd. You're getting rid of yeah, like the thought process is only about the gold and stuff, and you're getting into the silver stuff, which is getting expensive itself right now.
It is getting so expensive. Oh my gosh. I
So
wish I would have kept so many copies.
where'd she go? I lost her. She left me. She left me.
I hear you.
She hears me, but she left me.
I hear you. I'm just giving you Kool-Aid Man.
Okay, you can get your Kool Aid. I'm not gonna hold that against you. I thought you were like a typical woman, just gets up and leaves me. But okay, you
You're
came back.
still here.
That's good. That's good. So I guess all the stuff that you put together kind of put you into that position to start your own cons, which is quite an evolution. You don't have that many dealers, men or women, that actually put together their own Comic Con.
Yeah.
What brought this about?
um, it was something I wanted to do, and I was talking to a couple of friends of mine, and they were both on board for it. And so we teamed up and decided, okay, let's do this. And had the first one in Orlando. I definitely learned some. Um, it was a ton of fun. Everyone that came had a great time. All of my vendors and artists had amazing shows. So I would say first time was definitely a lot of learning, but a success.
So overall, you feel pleased with the results of
Yeah, everyone said they want to come back and set up again next year. So,
But what put it in your head to actually take the next step from just selling
well,
to?
shows were over. You know, Well, okay, so I might have to let my dog out. I'm really sorry.
All right.
Um,
If you need a minute or two, I could take a pause and I was like, just start harassing the audience while you do that.
I'm gonna see if he's gonna lay down. If he lays down, then I won't have to.
Okay.
Um, well, what I was gonna do initially was like a small get together, and then other people decided they also wanted to come, and then I'm like, well, why don't we just turn this into like an actual event? Yeah, he needs to go. Okay, give me 1 second so I can let him out really quick. I'll be right
Don't
back.
worry.
I'm sorry. Guys, come on, let's go. You need to
All
go.
right. So now that Danielle is away, we could talk bad about her until she gets back. You could start building up all your toxic questions, and I could answer them. I could ask her them while we're gone, um, and then we'll take it from there. But let me just say a quick hello to a lot of people in chat that I haven't said hello to. Hello, Los S. First time I believe I seen you on the channel, so I appreciate you coming by. Circumstances Markets, great to have you here. MJ, great to have you here as well. K-pop, you've been awesome tonight with the modding. As always, you're my right hand person or my left hand person or whatever hand person that helps. I appreciate you. Nothing futs. Happy to see you in here. Kyle, promiscuous. Always got your biting questions as well. And I think I said hello to everybody else. But if you got any questions you want me to start building up towards asking Danielle, that'll be great. And we'll get the name of that dog as soon as she gets back. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna give. I'm not gonna give the dog my Kool Aid. My Kool Aid is not for dogs to eat. They're not. They're not for dogs to eat. I'm telling you that. There's no way I'm gonna let any dog near my Kool Aid. No, no. Maybe I'll give the dog this. See if he could bite this thing. Not a chance. But yeah, I'm sure you're gonna find it. Yeah, I'm sure you're. I'm sure you're gonna find the right question to ask. Oh, the Poochie's name is Toby. Ah, I will find out if you're being truthful, Adam. Because if you're not, I'm gonna call you out. We're gonna find out is this a Toby or is it not a Toby? Oh, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I'm getting technologically advanced right now. I want you to see what's going on. Well, that's look at that. You get to see Nerdy Girl's room right now, and look. What do you guys think of the background? Look, I put a background on my screen right now. I'm like the big boys right now on their live streams. I put a background with a backsplash and everything like that. It's got my face on it. It's got a title on there. The whole nine. The whole nine. So that's what we do here. That's exactly what we do here. You know. Yeah, we're getting so fancy. It's definitely fancy time. You know. But that being said, you know, eh, I hope Lynx is still around. If he's not around, he said that I was giving too many softball questions. I hope you people don't think I'm being a softball. I think I'm being. We're having a fairly candid conversation as far as with Danielle, and I'm not being soft. I'm not being easy. I'm not being hard on her. I'm just asking her questions. Yeah, I'm a fancy guy. I'm a fancy guy. Well, happy to have you back. So here's a question for you. Is your dog's name Toby?
Yes.
Okay, so you were saying the truth, Adam. All right, good. You're not a liar. Okay. All right. So now we have the
So
answer to that.
NerdyCon initially was just going to be like a small group of us getting together and doing some streaming, hanging out, like just doing that. And more people wanted to come. It kind of started growing. And then I was like, okay, we're going to do like an actual NerdyCon. This is happening.
Where was my invitation?
It was an open invite. You should have read it on social media.
I wanted a handwritten invitation
Oh, I'm
from
sorry.
you
Next time I'll sit and I'll get an envelope and I will sit down and I will write a very thoughtful note
with a wax stamp.
formally inviting you.
on linen paper.
Formally inviting you with a calligraphy pen.
That's it. That's all. So it became from something that was just an idea that was supposed to be a bunch of you to
Yeah.
stream and kind of like a promotional kind of a thing initially, I guess, right?
Yeah, just all kind of like get together, bring books, hang out, have fun.
And did you get a lot of actual buyers that came in there, or
Yeah, I
people
had
that
over
were not?
200 people come through the doors.
Were they all within the business, or were they a mixed bag? Like
No
I know
mix.
that a lot of them were actual sellers and dealers that came in, but it was a mixed bag as far as the audience that came in, the 200 people.
Yeah,
Oh, that's very
like
good.
they were older, younger. Yeah.
No, no, I'm not talking about older, younger. I'm talking
Oh,
about people that are not like regular sellers and that kind of thing. Like people that just
no,
came in there to
collectors
buy.
were coming in to come shop and buy. Yeah.
That's what I was asking. Like
Yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
all right, so that's actually really good. So your plans are actually to do a second annual NerdyCon,
Hmm. In
and when
Orlando.
in Orlando.
Hmm.
The first one was Orlando as well, right?
Hmm.
Why is it always going to be in Orlando?
Well, there's going to be like pop up ones throughout the year.
Pop, are there going to be any in New York?
We just had one in Buffalo, like a virtual one.
Talk about
Uh,
real New York.
I heard a rumor I might be coming to Big Apple.
That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. I want not Buffalo, not
No,
like.
I heard a rumor I might be at Big Apple Con.
Oh, that would be pretty cool. That would be very cool. And what are your thoughts of how to expand this, like to bring it to the next level? Like right now, it was a setup of having the tables. You had some like displays and that kind of stuff. What's the next step? Where do you see this going? Do you see this becoming like a truly annual event that's going to be
Yeah, I
really?
want growth year over year. I'd like to start getting some bigger artists. I'll probably team up with a couple of shops. And I think just planning out a little further in advance so that I can market a little better, maybe get some press going, and just kind of grow it a little more year over year.
Have you been able to acquire sponsors for you yet? Like regular sponsors that want to be part of this?
Well, yeah, one of the people I'm partnering with is going to partner with me on all shows. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's a good thing. So I have a question for you because this has been a contentious point for a lot of the people that have been affiliated with Whatnot. Um, some of them have had contracts. Some of them have open contracts. Some of them have deals in place and that kind of thing. Like Bueller had his bus and
Yeah, I
everybody.
don't have that.
So they were not one of
They were a sponsor for my event
oh, they
where
did.
they sent me. Yeah, they did. When I initially was going to do it, they were not a sponsor, and then I explained what I was doing, and I was able to get like buddies and swag bags and some whatnot swag for different streamers that were coming in, and some of their like signage.
See, I find that shocking. You had to twist their arm a little bit in order
Yeah,
to get them to become a sponsor for it. Um, it's odd.
I
It's an
know.
Whatnot is an odd experience and model altogether. I mean, it's going through its growing pains.
Yeah,
I believe that just like every company that's growing, and it's growing fast, um, the tend to stumble a few times, getting to the point where they need to in order to get to that final destination. And I feel that in as far as the marketing and the advertising and the promoting of their talent, their higher talent, they've been dropping the ball a lot. I would think in a situation you're doing an entire con by yourself, whether even if it was a room of 50 people, that's still something. They know that there's going to be streaming, there's going to be video cameras, there's going to be people coming in there. You would think they would jump on that opportunity to immediately say, "Hey, we want in, we want in," even if it's just putting a banner up, say we're here, even if they don't give any swag. We want in. We want a table there. We want to support it in some way. You know, do you feel that it's a little weird still as far as their interaction with the talent?
yeah. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, so you're gonna be tight-lipped about it. Okay, I will tell you something. I don't know if you saw the Bueller interview, and I don't know if you saw his
I
take
don't
on it.
I don't always understand how and why they do things the different ways they do.
I will say this: they dropped the ball in a big way with Bueller, in my personal opinion. They had an entire freaking bus running around with their banner on it throughout the country, and they didn't even go outside at a con where there were all the representatives to take a look at what they paid for. It's just an odd situation.
I feel like they should have at least like gone out and just out of respect.
Forget about the respect. Screw the respect.
And like, don't you want to know like what your banner's on?
That's my point.
That's
Screw the respect.
yeah,
You paid for it. You paid to put a wrap
I
around it.
would want to know.
You
For
got the
if
guy
I were
on.
a business, I would want to know what my rep is on.
You
Yes.
got the guy running around and promoting your product. I want to see what this looks like. What if it looks like? What if he never washes the bus
Right.
and it looks like crap?
What if it's not a good representation? Yeah.
What if it's bubbling all over the place?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to know that? It's just
Well, yeah.
a very odd thing. I got my axe to grind with them. You would think that they would send me a yellow Kool-Aid man with a whatnot banner on it, but they have not done so.
I'll make you a yellow shirt with a W so your Kool-Aid man can have a whatnot shirt. How about a little baseball cap?
I don't do the baseball caps, but it could work. It could work for Kool-Aid. I try not to wear
I'll
baseball
draw a
caps.
smiley face with a W. He'll have like a W face instead of a smile.
There you. Yeah. See, if they were like their marketing department was on the ball.
Their marketing department should hire me.
Boom, 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 boom. Even this crazy guy over here got ideas that actually know how to sell things. Yeah,
Some yellow gloves.
shouldn't they have like a little bit of a group of their larger? Forget about me. All joking aside, they should take some of their bigger sellers, such as yourself and some of the other sellers out there, and have like almost like a monthly conference and say, "Hey, what do you think? Do you think do you think these ideas would? Do you have any ideas that will help grow your brand and the company as well? Do they have anything like that? Have they ever had anything like that with you?
Like a seller summit type thing.
Yeah,
No,
like just a group, like a little Illuminati, a little like.
Well, if there is one, I'm not part of it. Maybe there is one, but I'm not in it.
All right, so there you go, people. Danielle has been excluded. The nerdy
I
girl.
am excluded. I am exiled. I don't have a contract. I don't have any of that.
So if it's ever discovered that the nerdy girl is part of the Illuminati and whatnot, then you could throw stones at her all day because she lied on here.
Whoa.
No, we're not.
At least like cotton balls. Let's not say throw stones. Some people may take that shit literally.
Okay. Well,
this is the internet. People take the internet serious as fact.
All right, no stones. Water balloons. There you go. MJ is another seller on whatnot. I mean, I'm sure he could vouch for a lot of the stuff that's going on.
Buyer only giveaways.
Is that a thing now? Did they actually?
No, but he said any ideas on improving the app. I do when we get to the Q&A. I do want to answer Promiscuous's question when we get.
Yeah, we'll get to a couple of the things, but and I think we're gonna get to that session in just a second. I just wanted to wrap up with the nerdy con because that intrigued the hell out of me. The way you set it up, it was very
fun.
It was very ambitious. I'll say that much.
One of the artists sold an entire portfolio of his art. I hosted my first ever drink and draw, which was incredible. Adam Kubert was there.
Oh wow.
My sellers, all the vendors did great. One of the vendors did like over 12 grand in sales. So I think that one of the other artists said that he did better at my event than he did at MegaCon last year. So I feel like for my first event to have people have such great experiences, I call it a win.
Do you ever see it getting as big as other cons. Maybe not, it's not going to be
I
so
would
big.
never want it to be like, I would never want it to be massive because I would get really overwhelmed. This might surprise people, but I'm actually a very anxious person. Um,
Does that mean
and
you're a control freak?
I was going to say, this might surprise people to learn I'm a little bit of a control freak. I'm sure that comes as a huge surprise.
No surprise. Another woman that's a control freak. I don't know how that works. Okay.
And I'm a very ambitious person who always wants things to go as best as they can be. And I take my reputation and my brand very serious. So I would never want it to be too big that I couldn't give it my best.
That's actually a very good approach. Try to keep it as controlled as possible. But I assure you, if you get to a certain point, you'll get the right people to help you. Are you are
Yeah,
you
for
are
sure.
you able to
But
delegate?
that's like, but then like I have to relinquish like that control to someone
So
else in hope that
hold
they
on.
take it.
You mentioned that you're a control freak. Like in other words, well, all the stuff in the inventory that you sell on a daily basis and the whatnots and all that stuff, you're telling me you have no help whatsoever? You're doing it all yourself? You're doing all that, or like wrapping with your flamingos and all that stuff all by yourself?
I
And
have someone who comes and ships sometimes, but the last couple weeks I've been doing all my own shipping. He came on for me like maybe 2 months ago. Prior to that, yeah. I do all shipping, all grading, all listing, all selling. Yeah.
that's a problem. You're gonna burn yourself out real fast.
You know what? I want to be retired by the time I'm 45. And like retired doesn't mean leaving the hobby. Please no one take this video and say, "Oh my god, she's just going to sell her stuff and be out of the hobby. She's not really part of the community." That's not true. I
And
will
if that was
always
the
be
case, is
part of
there anything wrong with
the
that?
community. Huh?
If that was the case, is there anything wrong with that?
No, but like this is part of my life. Like all my friends are in comics. Like I could never just like walk away.
So retiring, what's your what is your goal? What is your target date as far as retiring, as far as your age or the year or whatever the case is? Like you said,
45.
45. You're so in basically 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years. Wow. You want to be done.
Well, I want to just sell like when I want to sell. And if I want to travel and go on vacation for a couple weeks, I can go do that.
Makes a lot of sense. Now you did stop doing sales on whatnot on Wednesdays, which I was not. I didn't realize until you pointed it out to me. Why is that? Why are you not part of that Wednesday wacky
Oh,
crew?
I just decided that I didn't really want to be confined to a time slot and a time limit every week.
Oh, you just want to run as long as you want to run, and that's
Yeah,
it.
if I want to, if I want to stay on because I'm having fun and I want to go longer and people are having fun in the chat, then and I want to stream for 2 hours, I want to do that.
So you felt like the other because you were part of a time format and that kind of thing that you were being restricted and people were pressuring you. You got to end the stream. You got to do
Well,
this.
yeah, because like when you have a schedule and you're all streaming back to back like that, like your hour is your hour.
So who was the drill sergeant? Was it Tom? That was like basically dictating. You better end this. Or you
He's
better.
such a hard ass sometimes.
Who
He's
was
such a
cracking the
hard
whip?
ass.
Be honest. Who's cracking the whip more than anybody else? Was it Tom? Was it
Well,
Jen?
Tom brought us all together.
So he was the orchestrator of madness over there.
He was. He was
Well,
the puppet master.
yeah, I could tell.
I'm
You
just
know.
kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. Please.
Oh no, we believe you. He's the puppet master. He's like ding 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 ding. He got everybody. Oh, Tom, I know when you're watching.
He's gonna be like that bitch.
That's what you get for coming in and trolling me with your hands. That's what you get.
He put me up to it. He told me to say that. He asked me this question before.
Look at this, throwing me under the bus. Throwing me under the bus. So what's the near future? We know what the long term future is for you as far as um, your social media, your sales, and everything like that. 5 years, you'd like to be either retired or semi-retired.
Yeah.
near term, what do we have to look for in from the nerdy girl?
The nerdy girl.
Yeah, what do we have to look
More
forward to?
IG claim sales. I'm still streaming on Whatnot. Convention season is about to kick into gear. So if you see me at a show, please say hi to me. Please come up and say hey. I love meeting people.
Which conventions are you going to be hitting this year?
I have not planned out my full schedule yet, but I will be at Big Apple Con in a few weeks. I'll be at MegaCon. I've been toying with the idea of trying to do a doubleheader and do both C2E2 and MegaCon, but if I'm doing Big Apple, I don't think I'm going to want to fly twice in the same week. So I'm probably just doing Big Apple and MegaCon. I am hoping to do San Diego this year. I have not firmly committed yet. Torpedo Con, I don't know. I'm pretty sure John's doing it again. So I'll be at Torpedo Con. I'll be in New Hampshire at Little Giant Show in April.
Are you doing HeroCon?
Ooh, maybe. And I think maybe another NerdyCon event in Vegas is coming.
I'm staying away from there.
TBA.
I don't want to be anywhere near casinos and hookers. I'm not coming. I'm not coming to the. I'll come.
How can you go wrong? Casinos, hookers, and comics?
No.
Oh my God. It is like a fucking trifecta.
Oh my God. Oh, look, we got her to curse. We got her to curse. There you go.
But that is not a hard thing to do, my friend.
What? I'm staying away from that because that's a toxic potion for a journey. Going to
That is like every man's wet dream.
No, not it is at the time. Don't get me wrong. It'll be real fun, but I'll be paying for it. Believe me, I will be paying for it. If maybe I'll come. I don't. No.
Hey, you might end up in a chapel.
No. No more marriage. No, I just got divorced. I'm not doing any more marriages. No more marriage. Not anytime soon. I'm still paying for the first one. So
sometimes it's cheaper to keep her.
Yeah, at least from the pocket, but not for your mental sanity. But
Life choices.
That's a conversation and a show for another time. That's for the insomniac when we just break down and cry about our misery. So not for this one. This one's about a nerdy girl. So you know what? Maybe I will come. No, I'm not going. Maybe I will come to. No, I'm not coming to Vegas. Or maybe I don't know. Now you're tempting me. So I know I'll be in New York Comic Con. I know that I will be.
I'll be at New York Comic Con, of course.
I will be at HeroCon more than likely. They twisted my arm to come down there. So if you're there, I'll see you there.
Yes.
Possibly Terrificon.
I've heard great things about that show.
You know, another toxic environment. It's in the casino in Mohegan Sun, and forget about it. Anyway,
no hookers really. Like Vegas has its own set of rules.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's missing from that combustible cocktail. But
it's not a trifecta then.
Yeah, so it's a little bit more tame. That's why I'm considering it more.
It's like the PG version.
Yeah, kind of. Either that, or you're gonna have some like sweaty comic guys hitting on you. I don't know. Listen. Not only women have a situation like that, men have the situation like that as well. So
opportunists.
Yeah, it's 2023. You have a lot of stuff on your plate. You're doing the any exclusives coming up? Anything you want to promote as far as that's concerned?
Oh, I'm working on a couple projects, but nothing I'm ready to share yet.
I have a question for you. I want an honest answer, a real honest answer. No bias because you actually did this. Okay, I'm gonna show this again because this is your exclusive. Did you fully read this comic? Other than making the cover, did you fully read the comic?
After.
No, we're going to be silent on this question. Did you fully read it?
After I did.
After? Did you fully enjoy it?
I'm really happy that JPG is bringing his dream to life on pages,
You are
and
such a
takes a lot of work to do
politician.
that.
You are such a damn politician. You know that? So you read it after. You are so happy for your friend that did it.
I mean, who else makes a DJ track to go with a comic book?
That is true. I'll give a thumbs up for innovation on that. I will give a and I will give a thumbs up for that weird acid trip of a book that is in here because it's something. It's something real different. You know, I think this book is going to be worth gazillions of dollars. Not necessarily only this book that's the Nerdy Girl comics. Like,
Well, my book is the only one that says not Ninja Funk. Like every other Ninja Funk says Ninja Funk on it.
is that true?
Yes, I'm the only Ninja Funk one that does not say Ninja Funk.
Is that true? Well, hold on a
Yes.
second. Hold on a second. Let me see. Because I got Bueller's book here too. Hold on.
Bueller says Ninja Funk.
Holy shit, you're right.
I know.
You're right. Holy
know.
crap. See, I got his Notorious book too.
Yeah.
Now all I'm waiting for on his end is for somebody to throw a bus at somebody in the middle of the street. So this thing could be worth a gazillions of dollars. So I need somebody that's angry at him to throw a whole bus at him, and then it's
So we
gonna be
need someone to become Hulk.
yeah, basically.
Yes. Got it.
That could happen, right?
Yeah.
No?
Can they give me that super serum too, though?
Well, they say that like moms, like when they get really angry, they get like superhuman strength.
Not enough to move a bus.
Oh, you haven't experienced that surge yet?
I guess not.
I guess not. But you're right. You know what? It is the only book that says.
Wait, can you say that again?
I said that it's only the only book that I think.
No, before that.
What did I say? I say all kinds of things.
You said you're right.
Oh yes, you were right. You were right. You were right. You were right. Okay. Yeah. I don't think I've seen another one that actually does not say Ninja Funk all across the cover. Even
They
more.
all say Ninja Funk.
I'm happy about that because now I got it Notorious for two. So, any regrets on that, or you feel that after reading the book, it is what it is.
It says Nerdy Girl Comics, and I'm on the cover. How could I ever possibly not love that?
I will give you so much credit for being politically honest. let's leave it like that about that book. No, I know that it's your exclusive. I know there's everything, but it's a weird freaking comic. It's a weird freaking comic. But that being said, I own it, so I own a few versions of it.
See?
Because FOMO. That's why.
Oh my God, don't start with that.
FOMO.
Oh my God. It's like every other month there's a new like evil word in the comic book social media world. Influencers was this dirty word. Acetate was this dirty word. Now it's FOMO.
I think
Everyone's
FOMO
talking about FOMO.
Well, I think FOMO was never a positive word.
No, but like now, like everyone's talking about FOMO.
Well, I guess. I guess they always talk about FOMO. The FOMO is in the air, regardless if they're talking about it or not. It's there.
That's true.
Every time you get that one person that is freaking out and like paying triple and quadruple the amount of money for some weird ass thing that nobody else wants, all of a sudden it's FOMO, and it always happens. And it's happened since the beginning of time. Like, ask Todd McFarlane. Ask him if he regrets paying $3 million, $1 million, whatever he paid for that Mark McGuire baseball that he bought. Before the steroid scandal. FOMO. It exists. It exists everywhere. So you thinking about doing any more exclusives going forward?
I'm gonna do some, yeah.
Are you gonna read them before you do the
If I
exclusive?
have time.
Well, you have to. You have to. You have to, or you're gonna get Ninja Funk.
I'm gonna get the synopsis.
I think that's a good choice to make.
Like,
So
hey, can you give me the synopsis of this before I say yay or nay?
just give me a summary, please.
I just need
Something.
like a 3 sentence highlight.
So let's give the opportunity to chat. We talked to everybody's ears off right now. Let's give everybody the opportunity to ask some questions. So
Any
now that you guys have,
question? Don't answer no questions, and I won't tell you no lies.
Hey Lord, don't ask me questions. Hey Lord, don't ask me questions, please.
What do you want? What do you want from us? To ask you this much is just a matter of trust, not an affront. What do you want?
all right, people, what do you want? Ask your questions now. I'm going to go back down to the questions that we were looking at before. I know there was a couple of them. I know PTT asked a couple questions as well. Let's get on it. Let's get on it. All right, so let's start with this one. Nerdy girl, how do you discern making money as a business and managing a community that is jealous of your success? Good question.
I've been doing this almost 20 years and I still am trying to figure that out. For a long time before like social media, everyone just kind of did their own thing and things weren't put under such a magnifying glass and everyone didn't have such strong opinions. Um, I try to run a very fair business. I try to treat everyone very fairly. And I think that sometimes people who are the loudest and the most jealous are people who've never done business with me. And it's really easy to make assumptions. My grandma used to always say, when you assume, you make an ass of you and me. So I would say, like, I'm still learning, but I try to run a really fair business and treat everyone fair.
Solid answer. There you go. Here's another question by Knucking Futz. One, by the way, is one of the best names in the community.
Yes.
Danielle, tell us the story how you acquired Cap One.
I don't really have a fun story for Cap One. I wanted at auction.
That's it. It was just an
That's
auction.
it.
Was it
That's
was it
it.
was it at least an eBay auction? It came in a horrible box or something like that.
No, it was an auction house auction.
Ah,
You asked me like the Action One story. That's a fun one, but Cap One's like I wanted at auction. I wish I had a great story for it.
by the way, since I did bring up eBay, do you still sell on eBay or do you sell at all on eBay?
A little bit on eBay, but not really. Like I would rather do buy it nows on Instagram and not have the fees. And then on like my less expensive books, I just run all those on Whatnot. I really like how easy, like as a seller, I just did my IG live sale over the weekend. And after doing that, I was like, oh my gosh, there is so much work that goes into this and selling a buy it now on Whatnot.
Yeah,
I forget how much work like a live claim sale is.
yeah, it's a pain. That's the reason I don't get involved with them in any way whatsoever because it's work. It's like legitimate work, and sometimes you have people telling you, "Well, I ordered this, I ordered that, or whatever the case." Are you chasing people to collect money from and that kind of? It's a pain.
Yeah, I like the one thing I like about Whatnot, and it's even different than eBay too, is that like as soon as someone wins an auction, they automatically are charged. As a seller, I think that it's great.
I would think so. I would definitely think so. Here's a question by K-pop. What's your favorite cheesy backbin dollar find? Or have
Oh
you ever had
gosh.
one?
It's so a Ren and Stimpy one.
Like Ren and Stimpy one, or just a random Ren and
Yeah,
Stimpy?
Ren and Stimpy #1.
Were you a Ren and Stimpy fan, or just because you found it in a dollar bill and you were so like
Yeah, I thought
ecstatic?
they were like so crude and it was like so naughty when I was younger. Now it's like child's play compared to what my child watches, but it was like kind of naughty.
And that's kind of from your generation, as far as the cartoons that you used to watch. You used to watch Ren and Stimpy, Pinky and the Brain, I'm assuming, and
Yeah.
Animaniacs, right? Yeah.
Animaniacs, Snorkels. That was like a little bit older, but I still watched Snorkels.
Oh my God, snorkels.
The Snorks. The Snorks.
Oh my God, they freaking disturb me. Those things. I don't know
When I
why.
was really young, Care Bears.
All right, at least those are cute. The snorkels just disturb the hell out
They
of
were
me.
so cute.
Really? Like, oh my God, they got the tube and everything. Like, they're all freaky. Oh, jeez, snorks. Ah, at least the Smurfs look like little human beings that are blue. The snorks look like some freaking alien thing. It scared the shit out of me. I didn't like those, and I like sea monkeys. But that's another. That's my issues. Do you invest in VHS?
Nope. I
At
do
all?
video games, but not VHS. No.
Speaking of video games, you actually did drop a video yesterday for the first time in like forever.
Forever. Yeah.
On YouTube.
It's been like forever ever since I've dropped any content on YouTube.
You want to talk about the reason why you took so long to drop?
I stopped after C2E2. I know that like now I'm at a point where I'm just like, whatever if people say negative things about me, but I would be lying because C2E2 was really my first real internet scandal. Like, it was my first business scandal.
Oh, they came after you hard on that one. I know that.
Huh?
They definitely came after you
Like,
hard on that one.
it was my first scandal, period. It was like the first time in my business ever where people were because I've always run a very fair, honest, ethical business. For almost 20 years that I've been doing this, I've set up at San Diego over 15 times. I've done New York since it started. I have never had an issue. And I think the internet made it even easier to make it what it was. And it made it really easy for people to say whatever they wanted to say. And as long as there was an echo chamber to keep growing it. And I think that I definitely got it worse than anyone else. CGC graded the book. Black Flag made the book. Clayton Crane had a huge hand in that. I was not even one of the people who went to the other table that had a deal worked out. I had no deal worked out previously. And I somehow got it harder than everyone.
Why do you think that's the case, that you got it harder than everybody else?
Well, I think people will say I'm wrong in saying I'm a girl, but I think part of it was that I'm a girl. But I think the other part is that I have a very recognizable brand. And if you look, when someone this is not an arrogance thing. It's if you look at data and you look at polls and you look at views, if someone puts nerdy girl in a title, people and in a negative way on top of it and like a toxic way, it gets more views than a name that people might not recognize.
Well, let's see. We'll put that to the test after this video is done processing, and let's see how many views it gets compared to everybody else.
Let's go.
If that's the case, I'll have you on every week.
And there was like a group of people that were kind of just like in this circle feeding this information, whether it was right, wrong, false, whatever spin wanted to be put on it, that's what was out there.
I find it amazing. I find it amazing that you got there was an entire sex scandal out there, and you got blasted harder than that.
Right? He was Mr. Steal Your Wife.
Yeah, there was a freaking sex scandal out there. I would think that's gonna give people drama and stuff to talk about, which they did. Don't get me wrong, and that's still getting dragged out.
And I ran all of my books. I know part of the problem was people said I was selling them for so much. I was running them at $1 on my streams on Whatnot. And there was a point where I was telling people, stop bidding. And when I would say stop bidding, they would bid again.
Maybe they're accusing you of playing reverse psychology on people then.
Whoa.
Is that what they're accusing you of?
That is not one of the things I got accused of, but let's not put that in anyone's heads.
Okay. I'm just trying to make some logic out of it. Even if you did overprice, I mean, let's be honest. Let's say you put a freaking $50 book for $100. Okay, let's say you did. Does anybody have to bid on it or buy it?
No, and I have return policy. No one canceled their order. Nobody reached out to say, hey, I want to return it. As soon as CGC said, we're going green label on this, there's extra staples, I told people. And hindsight, would I buy as many copies as I did? No, I'm telling everyone, fuck off, buy your own. Sorry, not sorry, but like not in that way. But
Okay,
I
so
won't
that was
buy
a
books
peeve
from
of mine. That was a major, like pet peeve of mine when people got all pissed off about dealers or sellers or whatever going and getting advanced copies of whatever book. It doesn't matter. This is a practice that's been happening for years.
decades.
It's not like something new.
Well, how many of these people have asked their friend to go to a show? And listen, at hindsight, I would never put myself in that situation again. But I would ask people, how many times have you asked your friends to get you an exclusive at a show that you can't attend? Or to get you a couple because you want an extra one?
Well, that's a different story altogether. You're waiting online, you're getting whatever the kids is. I'm talking about the dealer aspect,
No.
the seller aspect of it.
Oh, just like selling the books?
Yeah, because here's
Right.
the thing. You have the people that made that exclusive. They made you had an advanced deal with them, correct?
No.
You didn't have an advanced
No.
deal to be able to purchase all the books in
No.
They just gave them to you?
Yeah, there wasn't a limit. I said, this is how many copies I'm going to get. And they said, okay, charge my credit card. And that was it.
Okay, so that basically was on the seller themselves.
That was on Black Flag.
Yeah. Well, Black Flag is Black Flag. But regardless of the case, if they set no limits, that's their issue. There were other incidents that did happen where there was deals that were made with sellers ahead of time and dealers where they basically went and picked up a bundle because they already pre-ordered them from them.
Yeah.
I don't find that anything wrong with that. Just like if you're buying from an LCS, doesn't the LCS pre-order their books and get them in advance to be able to sell them to you? The same thing applies to our dealer or seller. It's part of the business. It's something that has not been. It's not like a new thing. I understand the people that are waiting online. They're all pissed off. I was waiting. Whatever the case is, throw the rocks at Black Flag. And
Don't throw rocks.
Okay, don't throw the rocks. Throw water balloons. Well, throw filled condoms at
Oh my God, now water balloons around comic books, blasphemous. It's not the comics' fault.
Do whatever you want to them, but the point is they should be the target of the anger, not the actual people that did it. If I was in your place and I got it and people started yelling at me, I'd say, "Fuck you! I got it. Now it's mine." You make a deal. You go wait online and get as many. Like I that's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it. Now, if I was sitting on the line, I swear what they did at the end, where they were forcing everybody to amp up the price on those final books, I would have went nuclear on them.
Yeah,
but it's them. It's a them issue. That part of it, I'm with you 100%. I'm not with you on the Ninja Funk, but I'm with you on I'm with you 100% on that. So that I think hey, we got to be honest, right? They can't all be freaking.
It is what it is.
They all can't be winners. So I hope you don't have 1 million of them still in stock. Well, she does. I'm sorry.
Listen, it doesn't matter to me. I've sold a bunch of them, but it says Nerdy Girl Comics.
There you go. That's your ego boost. That's a good thing.
My ego boost.
We need that. Here's a nice friendly question. First concert, worst concert, best concert.
Ooh, first concert, Blink-182. Best concert. Ooh, I'm gonna say Ed Sheeran. Worst concert, Eric Clapton.
Really?
Yeah,
wow. Eric Clapton, worst concert.
Yeah, but like I'm like kind of like a little bit of like a hip hop head. It was kind of boring. His opening act was really great. I can't remember the guy's name, but he had like this Lenny Kravitz vibe. Eric Clapton was so boring.
Oh
My
my.
best concert's yet to come though, because I'm seeing Beyonce in August.
Okay. By the way, Dr. Von Hoot.
Wait, promiscuous. If I pay you to screen my content and dance at shows, is there a group discount?
By the way, Dr. Von Hoot, you're in the contention for best name in the community as well.
Yeah, I like
Dr.
that.
Von Hoot, comics from the spiral dimension. It takes some thought into putting that name together.
Yeah, for real.
You know, I'll give you. You get A+ for creativity, my friend. Okay. Uh, so, oh man, I now I feel bad that you have like a million of those nerdy girl comics in the.
I don't have a million.
No, I know that
5
Thor.
million.
Oh my God! All right, they're not. Here's another question by Dr. Van Coots again. What's the biggest book you've ever found in a random collection? That's actually a great question.
Ooh,
And
that
it's
is
not
a
a
good.
controversial question, unless you
It's
bought it for
not even
$2 from a little old lady.
Ooh. Does it have to be a book? Because
I'm not going to dictate how you answer the question. You can answer the question any way you want. It could be a book. If Dr. Von Hood has an issue with it, he could bring that up.
so it's not a book, but it is a piece of original comic art, and it was the cover to Avengers 118.
The original art.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive. That is very, very impressive
It
find.
was like a comic book deal, and like it wasn't like fully making sense. And all of a sudden, like we're like, what else do you have? And this woman just starts pulling out all of this original comic art. And her husband was part of like starting like that comic fandom book that they used to do, like that thick book. And he had amassed hundreds of original art pages.
Exactly, Beckerman. That's why I didn't make this the whole
Yeah.
point of this thing. Thor already exhausted that to he got the scoop on that. So I'm not going to get into that, but I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing the right way if I didn't at least mention it. Because that's part of the nerdy girls.
The nerdy girls.
It's part of her history. So it is a yes.
I marked safe for my first internet scandal.
There you go. And you look at you. You're better for it. Yes, Callie, she's still here. This is how it works. I trap my guests for as long as it takes here because I don't know when they'll ever come back again.
Bondage.
She has no problem with the bondage, and I have no problem with bondage either. So I keep her here. So now your boyfriend's gonna freaking come in. What are you saying to what are you saying to my the nerdy girl? What are you saying to her? Cup of comics. You're still a fraud. He says he could fit comics in a cup. I don't know. This is a whole scandal.
I don't know. Maybe he has a shrink ray.
Oh man! We didn't investigate that.
There's always an answer.
I've been told that there's these supposed massive cups that he could fit things in there. But
or it could be like a super giant mug.
Oh yeah, that definitely could work. It could definitely work. I'm just wanting to make
there's
sure
a will,
that
there's a way.
actually hiring me as a dancer might be the best.
Okay, you're hired.
All right, there you go.
But no take backsies. I'm a hard boss.
Not sure what this is in reference to, Ozzy. It was a great idea for you to put the Comic-Con podcast on your cover.
Oh. The legend comment.
You know Ozzy?
I know what he's referring to, and it's because my jacket says legend.
Oh, okay. Oh, actually, yes, that's right. There you go. Oh, I'm giving you all this
There's a
publicity for this
story
nerdy
there.
girl comics. After all this, this is now going to become worth gazillions of dollars. Not only that, because I
It
keep throwing
involves a lot of different controversies
I
on that
keep
cover.
controversy
That
sells, people. Drama
that
sells.
book in itself is a controversy.
There you go. There you go. Let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. I'm not going to hold you ransom for much longer. I just want to make sure that I am not omitting anybody's question for you because they're all excited to hear from you. It's been a while since you did an interview with anybody.
I know, guys. If you have
I
a
don't blame
question,
you.
drop it in the chat.
I don't blame you for not doing any interviews with her after the last couple that you had, but and I definitely appreciate you actually coming on here and doing one with me because these
Well,
could go in different directions with me depending on the mood I'm in. If I'm on my period, you're gonna get me in a bad mood.
guys, menstruate. I know it's a thing. You're not on your period. You're menstruating.
Yeah, so if you get me in a bad mood, it could
I
go in
get
a
it.
different direction. You call me on a fairly jovial mood today, a very happy mood today.
It's because you knew I was coming on,
Well,
and
maybe
then I surprised you with my Kool-Aid man.
you
Made it
did it.
even better.
You did, and you didn't
Thank
troll
you
me
for
with your hands.
influencing me.
No, I that's what I look to do. That's the whole point of this series is to influence you and everybody else that comes on here.
It worked.
No, all
All
right.
of a sudden, I clicked add to cart. It showed up in my mailbox. I don't even know it came over me.
You'll all of a sudden what?
I clicked add to cart and it showed up in my mailbox.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't even know it came over me. Favorite Comic-Con city? Easy peasy. San Diego. I wish I could live in San Diego. One of the questions asked me my favorite top 10 list, and I don't have one. I don't read top 10 lists. I don't even know what the top 10 is week to week.
you don't
I do
even
not
bother
follow
with all
that
that.
at all. Huh?
You don't even bother with all that, right? No, with
No.
top 10 list or anything like that. Your last video that you did on your YouTube was regards to actual video games, and you've been dabbling with video games for years, and I think you've been aggressively stepping it up over the past year or so, right? As far as the video
I've
games are
been buying
concerned.
video games for like 4 years.
But I've seen like an evolution. You've been like pushing a little bit more with the video games going forward with the graded ones and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I came in like right before Weta started grading video games, and I was buying back then, and then I sold a few games. I bought some games back, and I feel like video games went through like their own highs and lows. So I feel like now is the time I want to be buying games again. So yeah, I've been diving back in again.
Here's a question from Beckerman. What do you have in your original art collection? Do you have PC stuff that won't leave?
A lot of my art is PC unless it has to go or unless I'm trading it. Most of the art is PC. I've got the cover to the 90s X-Men 11.
That's a nice cover to have.
Yeah.
That's that iconic 90s X-Men field cover. You think of the X-Men, that's the cover that comes to your mind from the 90s.
On my social media today, I posted the cover to Wolverine 75. I have that. That's not going to go. In my office, I have hanging Spider-Man 18, Eric Larson goodness. I'm a
Very
huge
cool.
Eric Larson fan. X-Men 283, Portaccio.
You got a lot of stuff in that collection. Is it all 11 by 17 art, or do you have larger
Most of
pieces?
it, I do have some larger art. Oh, I have this really, really, really cool. It was a commission from LB Cole, and I'll have to post a photo of it, but it's like two covers superimposed on each other. And I have somewhere the letter that he wrote detailing his thought process in doing the recreation. And then I also have the envelope that he sent it back to the guy who requested the commission with LB Cole's return address on the envelope. And I think that that's just so incredible because I think that he's such an underrated artist. I have X-Men 18 cover, that Andy Kubert.
Very cool. That's the one with Colossus, I believe, standing up in the middle, right?
Yeah.
I know stupid things. I know a couple things. But that provenance you have with the LB Cole covers is actually very, very cool. I love when you can attach any kind of history and provenance
too.
with any of that stuff.
Me
So
too.
very, very cool. So I hope that answered your question, Beckerman. What's your favorite video game in the PC?
Oh, Mario Brothers 3 all day. It's the greatest video game of all time.
I have to defer with that, but Contra is the greatest game ever made. Up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, start. Come on, select start. Yes, Contra. It's all about the Contra. Kool-Aid Man had an awesome video.
He's going to be my new Whatnot co-host. You influenced me to bring him to Whatnot.
There you go. I'm going to watch. I want to see if you actually pull him out.
Don't worry. Well, I'm going to have a little voice for him too, like Marshmallow Man.
He actually had an awesome game in Atari, by the way. I don't know if you have that one, but there's an awesome Kool-Aid Man
really
video game in Atari. You take a lot of those 80s books and you turn it on the back, and what do you see on the back? The Kool-Aid Man video game that you could order through mail on.
Oh, no shit. I'm going to have to look that up.
I don't know what it's worth.
Atari was a little before me. I was like a Nintendo kid.
I don't know what it's worth.
Well, maybe I can get one cheap.
I have no idea, but there's some spec. There's some spec. Do you see Kool-Aid going anywhere? No, Kool-Aid. Wait till they make their own Kool-Aid Man freaking movie. Everybody will go nuts over it. So there's some free spec people. I know people are getting nuts about the video games, and I'm sure like you, it's a good transition for you as far as being able to go from comics to video games and back and forth. You don't get involved with cards or anything like that, right?
No.
Smart woman. The freaking cards are a whole freaking animal.
Well, it's like glorified gambling.
That's right. Select start. Yeah. Yes, I agree with you 100%. I lived through the late 80s, early 90s as far as that big disaster that happened. All my Roger Clemens rookie cards and Don Mattingly and all that are worth shit now. Thank you, Beckett, and all you people that caused this disaster to happen. But horrible. I will never dive deep into the card industry, the speculation or collection ever again. I'll buy some weird cards because I like them just to have them, but paying big dollars, I'll never do that again. Never do that again. So you heard it from me, and you heard it from the nerdy girl. She is anti-cards. So
I do have friends in the card world, but it's not for me.
It's not for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You have to be. You have to live and breathe that, and it's like commodities. You're basically exchanging them on a daily basis, trying to make pennies on the dollar on these exchanges. It get volatile, really volatile. Scary stuff. But I think
buy a comic book.
There you go. Yeah, buy Nerdy Girl's jacket. Yeah, at least you have something to wear.
That's true, especially if you live in the north and you have winter until May.
You'll at least have something to wear. And the value of clothing goes a long way. That's the way I look at it. But that being said, I think we answered all the questions. Have I exhausted you yet?
A little.
Yeah, it's just a little bit weary. Did you ever collect your dog from the outside?
We went out. We went together.
Oh, you brought the dog back in. I never saw you bring the dog back in. I
know. I shut my office so he couldn't come in and be distracting.
Ah, I see. So we're gonna end the interview because that's what we're gonna do. Because you're exhausted. The chat, I believe, is exhausted. I think we said enough, and we left enough on the table to be able to do a follow-up interview at some time in the future. I'm hoping. I hope I didn't scare you off enough.
No, I will come back. Guys, you heard it here first. I will come back.
She will be back. And I will have harder questions next time. Now, see, this was the easier thing. Like I do
All
like
right,
a
this was
little,
the warm up. This was like
yeah.
a practice squad.
The
I
whole
get it.
plan is I kind of come in here, I give you a whole bunch of softballs, I get you comfortable, like get your guard down, and then
You
all
go
of a
for the
sudden
kill.
on the next one I just bang you over the head. And
I
that's it.
figured.
Well, so
Go for the kill.
yeah, that's how it goes.
I'm
So
ready for it. I've
I-
survived some pretty intense interviews.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen them. So that being said, I appreciate everybody in the chat. Have a good evening. I don't know where you're gonna go after this, but you can't stay here. You got heart from the nerdy girl, and we are out of here. So until the next time. Oh, just a quick announcement, people. Just a quick announcement. We just came in. Bronze Age Nerd. He's gonna be on the Monday on this same show with 9:30 p.m. And this is not even posted yet, so I'm mean, everybody's watching a inside look. We are having Gem Mint on here as well in 2 weeks on I believe March 16th. A thumbnail, a fancy thumbnail, and the whole schedule thing will be put up as soon as I could get to it. But you heard it here. 2 weeks, Gem Mint. Next week, it's Bronze Age Nerd. And after that, who knows who the hell we're going to get out of here. Maybe I'll get Trump on here. I don't know. You know, who knows? You know, he always likes questions, you know, because...
Stupid question, that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
All right, Trump. All right, I'll get to you. We're going to have him on soon, too. We're going to get everybody. We're going to get everybody on the channel. I just had to play that clip. Nobody asked a stupid question, you know, but I dying for a stupid question so I could press that image. Nobody ever gives it to me, so I have to do it one way or the other. Okay, get out of here,
Next
people.
time
Thank
I
you very
will.
much. I appreciate you. Good night and goodbye.